Good morning again from the boogie down South Bronx. Here I just kicked the tripod there. This is Jeffrey Cortez, and I'll be reading another chapter from my book, Memoirs of a Pentecostal Private Eye, or Memoirs of Pastor Rajatabla, Pentecostal Private Eye. The book is available on Amazon as paperback as well as Kindle. You could also order the book for pickup at a Barnes & Nobles near you, but you need to order it online and then choose the location of the Barnes & Nobles nearest to you. All right, as always, a description of the intention of the book and the purpose of its humor is in the description posted below. A quick overview of the format is that Raja is a pastor of a small Spanish Pentecostal storefront church, and he is approached because of his observation and clinical skills and background by members of the community as well as from religious communities nearby, members and also leaders, regarding their concern of about any events, scandalous or otherwise, also whether they be based on real occurrences, on facts, or gossip. So Raja investigates, doesn't charge them, and then he writes his findings on his journal, which is nicknamed Tabla. So that's the inside joke, Raja Tabla. And I'm going to be reading from chapter 12, all right? Other chapters that, if you would like to see other chapters read, they're also posted on YouTube with the same title, except the chapter number differs. So, here we have chapter 12, Mavi and the Scriptures. Mavi and the Scriptures. And the scriptural reference as an introduction to this chapter is from Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. Keep this book of the law always on your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Okay, so let's start. Pastor Raja spent a night in the church, fervently praying, often staring at the attendance offering wall wooden plaque. At times, the wall item appeared to be a taunting scorecard for visiting clergy to see. Other times, it was a thorn in Raja's side, trying to teach church members, to help keep the little church financial health sustainable. Raja had a constant disagreement with the church elders and trustees about the purpose of Pro Templo, church building fundraising activities. This specific type of fundraising was not for paying for maintenance or rent, but it would just be stubbornly moved on with their fundraising activities. So the group would stubbornly move on with their fundraising activities. Raja shook his head, remembering that even Jesus' own disciples wanted to teach him about leadership. Now, there was a Pro Templo Pasteles fierce food competition with volunteer cooks arguing over which one had the best recipes. Sister Ramona organized a tambourine percussions competition, charging members of other churches a fee for entering the competition. It was customary at the small storefront church to invite visitors of the faith to come to the front to say, recite, or sing something. It was a cold winter without a leaf tree leaf to be found in the South Bronx. When a visitor whistled a Pentecostal ballad in the church, folks were immensely blessed that evening. The next week, an inspired church brother, Bobby, wanted to demonstrate his percussion skills by using a cupped hand under his armpits. The brother then organized a whistling and armpit music concert in an effort to help raise funds for the church. Sister Maria, who constantly asked Raja for scriptural references regarding dogmatic matters, was in sharp polemic dispute with Brother Velez for his making and selling Mavi. Mavi is a Taino word. Mavi is a fermented drink made from the bark of the Mavi tree, which is also known as Maca tree, soldier wood, or seaside buckthorn, and can be found from southern Florida all the way to Guatemala. This refreshing drink is somewhat like a root beer, and there is supposedly no other drinks similar to it. Sister Maria came from another subculture within Hispanic Pentecostalism that associated Mavi with all other forbidden alcoholic beverages. Some of the congregants had nicknamed her behind her back Sister Anti-Mavi Maria. All this fuss and activities, but a few members wanted to address that the church would most likely lose its lease due to finances. Many members were sending money to bigger and better branded sparkly ministries, kind of like the movie They Will Be Blood, where the bigger religious businesses were drinking our milkshake. Their tabla. What a roller coaster day today was. I've been trying to lead my congregation into sound planning. I was so afraid of losing our church space by not being able to pay the rent on our leased location. Church members not quite registering that typical faithful offering and tithing would not necessarily be burdensome to them and will keep our church location open. Many of them seem just to be enamored of remembering their childhood in a small, cozy church, but not understanding the importance of payments for things such as utilities. For years, they have been doing emergency fundraising activities to make rent payment that could have been covered by simple, consistent offering and tithing. It's not like they have a full salaried pastor on board. The monthly stipend I receive is sufficient for me to buy an inexpensive fast food breakfast. The revenue that was generated through the recent fundraising events has turned out to be enough to pay a portion of the upcoming rent and utilities. I went downtown to walk through some of the scenic parts of our city, enjoying one of our large parks. After a while, I walked out of the park, still meditating and pensive about our church financial situation and whether I should continue pastoring. As I waited for the street light to cross the street, I stood near a homeless man that was laying down on the pavement. All of a sudden, he sat up and began singing, "What do you think about my Jesus?" He kept singing this part of a song which I knew from my childhood. He sang it to all the people walking by who ignored him. I thought I would surprise him by singing the response to that song once he would sing it toward me. So the brief moment came where he looked at me and saying, "What do you think about my Jesus?" With a big smile on my face, I sang the response, "He's all right, he's all right." Then the man looked at me square in the eye, saying, "So why are you worried about money?" With that, he stood up, took his belongings, and walked away from me without asking for any money. I took that moment as a sort of disguised angel message from God and made my way back home. As I arrived to my lower income part of the city, I walked by the church. There was Sister Auntie Mavi Maria waiting for someone to open up the church. I asked her why she was waiting and if she had an appointment. She bowed her head, pardon the background music from the street. I get that every once in a while. Okay, she bowed her head and handed me an envelope, which to my surprise had a huge amount of money. It turns out that she had been secretly playing the lotto on a regular basis, which is a big taboo in the majority of our churches. And in her last few ticket purchases, she had been using the numeric scripture references she asked from me in order to play. And she hit the lotto big time. She asked me to inform the church leadership and members that I had received this money from an anonymous donor. I told her that I would, under other circumstances, refuse to take the money based on some straight-laced spirituality, but I rebuked that ungrateful spirit. Mavi Maria's posture loosened up, and she said, "Well then, I'll drink to that." Bendición y bendiciones.